Hey, welcome. It's Monique Alameddine Zen Hustler. And I'm just waiting for my guest today before we actually start. I'm not even sure what these features are. Okay, no. So I'm just waiting for my very special guest to jump on. If you're watching the replay on either platforms, any of the platforms, I'll let you know when we officially start so you can forward through, because we're just having some technical stuff. Just waiting for Kat to get back on. Okay, now I can add you, Kat. Yep. Okay, cool. Hey, beauty.
Hey, I'm just gonna put my glasses back on. Still
Hey.
at the moment. Hey, it's working.
Yes, I'm going to move this over slightly just so we're evenly in this. And I was just saying at the start that I'm going to be also sharing this on YouTube and just, the replay as well. So we're going to officially start from here. And I want to welcome you to episode 1 of the Zen Hustle Business Women series. Now, this is where soulful, conscious business women share their blend of Zen hustle, right? So their blend of, I guess, conscious new earth way of doing business, really connected and I guess treating it like an extension of their soul mission. So my very first special guest and soul sister is Miss Pleasure and Power herself, Kat Kerle. Welcome, Kat.
Woohoo. Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here and be like the first guest. I feel like, yay. It just feels so aligned, doesn't it? Like yeah.
Yep, totally. All right, so my Virgo organized thing is kicked in today. What I'm going to do is we're going to have like some questions. So if you see me refer to my notes here, you'll know why. Because I want to try and keep it fairly uniform so that I get, because I know myself, I get so carried away and I get so excited, and that's okay. We can go wherever this needs to go, like always happens with us.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, and there's certain things that I really want to know about every awesome woman that I have on. So
Yeah.
firstly, tell us a little bit more about you and what you do.
I always feel like that's such a difficult question to answer. A little bit about
I
me. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so I am obviously Pleasure Empoweress. Uh, I am really aligned with pleasure and magic being a part of every day. And it's, pleasure is not just a sexual thing. We can enjoy life. We talk about the simple pleasures, or we say my pleasure. When you say thanks for having me, people say, oh, my pleasure, but they actually don't feel into the word and it just doesn't resonate. So it's that resonance with pleasure every day and magic every day, and it not having to be something that it's like, well, when I have this colored candle and this intention, and when I've got through all of this, then the magic will happen. It's really about mindfulness and consciousness of all things in a bigger scale. And being a mum of two little ones, um, you really need that. You need the magic and the pleasure, and it has to be doable. It can't just be this thing that you're going to book in your diary in a month's time and then the babysitter cancels. That's a good thing to have as well, but it's got to be more frequent, more realistic, I think.
totally, totally. And you know, some of the and I'm a, I guess, walking example of that. The really undervaluing the whole pleasure, the word in itself, the meaning, the depth of it. So I love the work that you're bringing, the light, the spotlight that you're putting on this that needs to be shone quite brightly, because as women especially, we tend to, you know, put ourselves second, third, fourth, last, whatever it may be. And if we're not
Absolutely.
feeling pleasure, then how are we going to teach our kids to do that and pass it forward? So I
Exactly.
love what you do. I love it. So I'm going to ask you some things that I just like knowing in general. Hey, Kelly. Okay, so tell us your sun sign, moon sign, and your rising sign.
Oh, lucky you know I know. So my sun sign is Leo. My rising is Aquarius, and for anyone who doesn't know, they are like the opposite of the, I guess, in opposite ends of the, so it's a circle, so like the diameter, I guess. And Taurus moon.
Love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And your favorite color?
Oh, red, red. And then it kind of goes, then I go orange, pink, the bright colors, but
Yep,
red is
yep,
definitely
yep,
definitely
yep,
the favorite at the
yep.
moment.
Do you have a favorite crystal?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. Um, for me, having a favorite crystal would not be the actual type of crystal, but the individual crystal itself, if that makes sense. So this, one specific one that I have. Um, my favorite crystals, the answer that I'm feeling, are actually the ones still in the earth. Like I feel like must be this massive rose quartz still in the earth that's just like sending us all this love all the time when we sit on the earth. And like I think that's my favorite. The unmined crystals are actually my favorite.
I love that. I love that. That's beautiful. I really love that. And now I know, I don't know if we talked about essential oils a little bit. What's your favorite go-to essential oil?
Ooh. I actually used lavender last night, and I don't usually, but I felt really cold. I like so many, but eucalyptus I really like because it's a transformational energy. So for me, I guess, there's always transformation going on, and I like that it is, native to where we're living as well. That really has that deeper resonance. So it's really strong, but it's, if you think about it, it's clearing as well. And so there's that. Yeah. I really got into it when I think just before I was pregnant or when I was pregnant with Hugh, who is 6 now, and I just kept feeling into it, and then it was all about transformation, transformation, transformation. And ever since then I'm like, yeah, I could do with a bit of that.
Love that. I love that. What's your go-to high frequency lifting thing? Like, what do you do when you're feeling a little bit low vibe? What's your go-to high frequency lifter?
Oh, well, I danced this morning. um,
Nice.
everyday magic, I think, is it depends where I'm at. So everyday magic if I need like a top up, but if I'm really feeling and I try to do this every morning, but and when I say dancing, for me, it's a bit more of a sensual hip swirling, getting the life force energy moving through my body. That is really a go-to for me, I feel. Yeah.
Love that. And yes, there's also the everyday magic stuff, which I love that you do. All right, give me 1 second.
And
Oh,
one thing actually that I just thought of with that, which is funny, what lifts you up, because there is this whole concept, which is actually a bit of an ancient concept that most people would probably cringe at now. Um, yoni flashing, where, yonis were back from the time when they were worshipped and on it. It's just funny because you said lift up, and it made me think, oh yeah, you know that actually is energetically. You know, if someone's feeling
Yeah,
down or low, just like whoo, give them a flash, and they get that
I love,
creative like life force energy. You know, it's kind of like a flash of that, and we go, oh yeah, that's in all of us. Here we are. So
I
yeah.
love that. I recently saw, I don't know if you saw it, the anus flashing.
Oh
Oh,
yes.
is it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a conversation.
Yeah. I thought that's interesting.
Yep, yep, indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your sole purpose and mission that you're fulfilling through your business?
Oh, that's so, I like that. That's like a yummy, yummy question.
Love
Oh,
Sally
I love
Brown.
you too, Kelly.
Mm,
Um, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's big because it's
oh,
funny. My sole purpose is like, you know, I'm a bit like, well, it's what's calling me at the time. Um, and changing the world, you know, changing the world is the consistent piece. So going from there, probably changing the lives of people in an everyday way, so we're nourished and we're enjoying life, because otherwise we go through our whole lives doing, and if you love the 9 to 5, you love the 9 to 5. You know, some people really enjoy clocking on and clocking off, and that's their thing because they can separate the time, and that's like that's awesome. If that aligns and resonates, you know, it's always about trusting what resonates with you and what's most pleasurable for you. And yeah, I really feel just reminding people of their inner sparkle, their own magic, and that life can be pleasurable. We're not always having to go to this goal. It's a bit like the memory you shared. You know, it's about enjoying the journey and still making our way there. And so the whole thing can be pleasurable. And usually, what feels pleasurable and magical is really us deeply connected to ourselves and the universe. And that's how it's all created anyway. And it shows us where we need to go.
and I love that. Like what I'm hearing you say is it's you know, some people have this big, oh my God, I'm just going to change the world with this one, boom. And what I'm hearing from you is it's the everyday magic, it's the everyday pleasure steps, it's the everyday things that are going to lead you to that. And you're doing it in such a pleasurable way, which is
Yeah.
beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
I
It's
love
everyday life that changes our lives, right?
beautiful. Love
It's not
that.
some one big thing. Like, you know, they have these young sports people who suddenly get, you know, make lots of money for their games, but they're not any more responsible because they have more money. They still go out and spend it like boozing with their mates or whatever it is that they do, you know, before they had the money. So it's a bit like, well, it's we kind of often wait for that. When I have $1 million, I'm gonna do this. It's like it's your everyday
Yes.
life that's going to get you there and have you in the right frame, and you might as well enjoy it, because then you're modeling, you're giving your kids, if you've got kids, and all the other people around you, of course, pick up on it, but particularly for me, you know, your kids are going to not grow up thinking they have to be in a job that they hate, and you know they have to put themselves last, and they have to be stressed out to the eyeballs. You know, they know that what they want matters, and fulfilling themselves matters,
Totally.
and that makes them more nourished for, you know, everything else they've got to do in the world.
Yeah, totally. Kelly Brown asked, what question was it? It was, what's your sole
Yeah.
purpose and mission that you're fulfilling through your business?
Mm. That's so
Love
good. That's so good.
it.
Can I just say again? That's
Business, aren't we? I mean, I'm in business to fulfill my soul mission, and the people that I work with are really soul led, you know, soul mission led and purpose led women, because that's really important to me. So, you know, and I want to know what's important to other women as well. So it's really interesting to know. So tell me, Kat, what does Zen hustle mean to you?
oh, it means lots of
No, you didn't
things.
know my stuff. You didn't know my
Yeah.
stuff. What does Zen hustle mean to you?
Oh, as in don't include. Well, I think of you immediately. So,
All right,
but
keep
what's
going.
my version? Okay, what's my
Yeah,
version?
yeah,
My version is that sense of alignment with yourself and your values in the midst of chaos. That's what it really is for me. So like when everything is hitting the fan and you could be like, you know, which I'm not going to say, I'm a Leo. I am a bit of um, drama queen sometimes. Let's face it, but but I acknowledge that as well. I'm aware of it, and it's having that alignment to go like, okay, I don't want to be reactive. I want to choose my response. And ideally, like let's talk ideals because why not? Um, actually not even having to consciously choose, that being second nature and going, I'm going to stay aligned in my values and I'm going to go, wow, this is really chaotic and I'm going to do this now. Or I'm going to sit in this space now. Like it's really about, oh, I don't know, you're still aligned, you're still
So
in your flow.
from an
Yeah,
aligned space, taking
yes,
action from an aligned space, regardless of what's going on around you.
yes, yes, yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. So, how do you know when you're in that sweet Zen hustle flow, that Zen hustle spot? Like, what are your things where you kind of go, I'm not there, or I'm so there, regardless of whether it's something good or bad? Hey, Morella.
Yeah. Hi. I don't know. Yeah, well, my big flag of hang on a minute is, I'm yelling at my kids and I'm going, I'm just trying to do this. Just give me some space. Like I'm kind of literally doing like this. Just leave me alone. Just give me some space. Like pushing. That's like, okay, well, you're not in alignment. You feel like there's no space within you, so you're looking for it out here. And then I think just knowing it is when like I don't know, it's like this. I feel like you feel your body feels like it moves more slowly. Everything moves, not necessarily slowly, more, I want to say elegantly. Everything moves together. It's not kind of jerky. There's flowing movement and it you just feel like very calm and it's like you're in the sunshine. I know that's kind of it's just like you're in the sunshine all the time.
Yes.
Or maybe you're radiating, maybe you're the sun, right? Let's take you're the sun and yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's really a
totally.
feeling though. It's definitely an embodied feeling.
Yes, embodied. I love that. So it's almost going to that space of not having to think anymore, isn't it? Because
Yes.
it's just kind of flowing for you. There's that
Yeah.
sense of embodiment. You're frozen on me. Oh, you're still there. There's that sense of flow through embodiment.
Yes. Yes. And I can think of one
Yeah.
example of when a life example when my husband was saying something to me and in my mind I'm going, this isn't exactly what I want to be hearing because I'm pretty sure we've had this conversation and that's not what we agreed on, that kind of mental thing. But being totally in that space, I went, okay, this is just where you're going. This is your fear. And then I said to him, I actually said to him, okay, can you tell me more on that? So it's kind of like that.
You're just freezing on me, Cat. You're frozen now.
Oh, sorry, my phone rang.
You're back.
Sorry, I forgot to put
That's
it on mode. So it was that calm space for me to go to acknowledge what thought popped up, but not latch onto it and identify it and question all of that, and still respond lovingly to him and be like, okay, can you tell me more?
Yeah.
Rather than jumping to the thought train, jumping on the thought train.
Yes, getting in your head rather than feeling your way through it.
Yeah.
Yep, I got you. So then with the hustle side, like what does that mean, like on the hustle front you are then able to, it doesn't feel like hustle, it doesn't feel like work. Things flow on the hustle side because the Zen part of it's been taken care of.
Yeah, it feels like the hustle is more like that radiance and maybe a few solar flares from the sun. It's like, hey, got that radiance and I'm so it doesn't actually feel like the kind of push hustle. It's more like the dance, like do the hustle, and you're like, do, 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 do,
Oh my God, Kat, I love that. And the solar flare, you're talking my language, girl. I love it. I love it. Awesome. I love it. So what is it that you actually struggle with and how do you overcome it? So between the Zen and the hustle.
So I
Between the
struggle
two,
with,
yeah, go on.
so I really struggle with, if I don't get like, it's almost like I need my daily dose of Zen, like I need to connect with the Zen within. And then
Yeah.
if I don't do that through whichever way works for me, then I generally don't feel it. And I feel when I'm not connected to different things, like, it may be that I need to listen to some Joe Dispenza. It may be that I need to listen to some psycho-spiritual entrepreneurship audios from Marion, or some parenting stuff, or Russell Brand. Just I have these go-to people or John Wineland, who I listen to, and they really connect me with the resonance of what they're saying. So I'm like, yes, so I think connecting with my alignment and my resonance on a daily basis is what brings me back. Because if I don't do that, I tend to get caught up in the thought and other people's, it's almost like I invite other people's opinions in a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Not on a conscious level, just like, oh, I respect you and I value you, so I'll consider that. Um, but then it kind of weaves too much into my own thoughts when I don't have the resonance. Like it's almost like I don't have that tether or that root really watered or connected.
Yeah. So you need to basically take the time out to hear your own voice, form your own thoughts, feel your own feelings before you can take on other people's stuff, because then it just starts to add to the noise and you lose sight of yourself. Or you
Yes.
lose yourself in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Totally. So how do you bring soul and source into your strategic decision-making processes?
Oh, well, I invite you. Truth. I talk to you. I go, hey, I've got this idea. Can you help me?
I love it. But in terms of because even when you come to me, you'll go, hey, I've got this idea,
Yes.
or hey, I'm feeling like your workshop coming up. You've got an awesome workshop coming up. And that was totally you. You've gone, okay, this is what I feel needs to happen, and I want it to happen on this date, and I want it, like, what was the spiritual aspect of it, the, connection to soul and source, part of that strategy? Like, how did that come through for you?
Yeah, so obviously being connected to myself, because I believe that our souls are embodied. I mean, we could go ages into the concept of soul and it being both within us and out us, but we are embodied beings. So I don't believe we can bring anything to the world unless we're embodied. Our soul needs to be with our body, in our body. It can still be outside surrounding our body with awareness, but it definitely needs to be in our body and connecting with that alignment. And we're all, in that sense, we are all source. And I also connect with the concept of muses. So to me, it's like inspiration, muses, whatever it is, they all flow, and it's kind of like you pick one up, you go, oh, yep, okay, I'm writing you down. I'm coming back to you. I'm going to do this. And I think really consciously going, okay, I'm going to do this, and taking the little steps. Even if that's taking a step and feeling whether it's aligned, and then having a yes or a no, because I was like, oh, I've got, as you know, I've got the workshop, but it's been an idea for a couple of months, I think now, or a month. And only now I'm like, okay, I know I've got to set a date, but okay, now I'm going to set the date. And So I think part of that is your own practices as well, spending some time just journaling out or writing out your thoughts or talking to someone and getting clear on your thoughts and the process so you can feel the resonance before you bring it and you offer it.
So what I'm hearing is it's that whole it's the pre-work, I guess, right? It's the stuff you put in every day that allow you to, embody and align more with what your deep core values are. And so then the one that speaks to you the loudest is you go, and that's been knocking on my door for a little bit now.
Yeah.
And then you kind of follow through with that and then go down that path. I
Yes.
gotcha.
And once you hear the yes, like if you're doing the inner work and you feel the yes and you hear the yes, it's very easy to share the work because the yes is already within you and there. So it just flows.
Okay, so let's say with the example of this workshop, right? Because I've seen you really adamant that it needs to be done,
Yeah.
right? How do you determine between oh yeah, that's a nice idea. Yeah, I really should do this too. I need to do this. And how do you determine between the bright, shiny object stuff and the true sacred calling? Like, there's been many times where we start something, personally speaking, and it feels like, yes, I'm meant to be doing it. Yes, yes. And then you kind of go, actually, no, I'm meant to be doing that. And at times it really just is bright, shiny object.
Yeah.
And other times it just means stop what you're doing, move on. How do you kind of determine, which one it is?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Um, I have this whole piece that I also share when people are listening to their intuition. So if it keeps coming back, like say you put it on the shelf and it keeps catching your eye, say, or you keep noticing it, or that same thing keeps knocking on your door, and that idea and that thought keeps coming back. So even if you leave it and it comes back, I feel like, okay, I've got to pay more attention to this. And so
Yeah.
intuitively, you kind of know. And in terms of like bright, shiny object stuff, um, there's something in the bright, shiny object. So you've either needed that part of it, or um, or you haven't you quite haven't sat with it. So you haven't quite got the resonance, or perhaps it's just meant to mutate. Like it's like that sense of like, um, I want chocolate, but actually what I want is comfort. So chocolate will bring me comfort for a little while. Bright shiny object will bring me what I need for a little while, but it's not
Yeah.
actually knowing the depth. So I think if there's any doubt as well, writing it out. Um, yeah, and I think for me, because I've got these three things going around that I'm like, I have to get done. I have to share with the world. And it's kind of like I always feel them. The three things are always rolling around in the back of my mind. Like they're not necessarily at the moment, because I've said yes, pushing or nudging or kind of like fear thoughting. It's not coming from the scarcity, like, what if I don't, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like, well, here they are again. Hello, here you are again.
Yes. I love your take on the bright shiny object thing. Like, what does it need to tell you? Like, what's missing? Like, delve deeper, because you and I both are really big on this. The signs. Look out for the signs. Like, everything's a message. Everything is a sign. So I love that. For those watching, that even your bright shiny object things are a sign or a message to delve deeper, and
Yeah.
that's really important. And that's what everyday magic stuff's about. It's about going, using everyday things that we do to create more magic, and looking out for the signs. Like, I will see magpies and I'll go, where am I transforming? That's all about transformation. And I'll see them, quite frequently, quite often. So we've got to keep our eyes and ears open for what's going on, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
So what's been your biggest awakening recently when it comes to your business?
Recently. Good question. I feel like I have to acknowledge my eye as my body is my biggest awakener. So I had as you know, Monique, I had an ulcer on my right cornea, and so that's why I've been wearing glasses instead of contacts. And um,
Yeah.
it's been really interesting in the sense that you notice everyone else's thoughts and projections on a concept. So I wear glasses over the last it's been maybe 6 weeks or something, and a lot of people say, oh well, but you look good in glasses, and I'm like, and after a little while I was like, thanks, I know. um, but it's for me, it's not about the how I look. It's about what feels right for me and what works for me. And I don't like looking through something at somebody. I value looking into, making eye contact, and for me, the practicality of being able to move and do things with my kids and all of that is really valuable. That's why I wear contacts. So having that, and how does that relate to business? I think having that clear piece for me on, well, actually, I really do know what's aligned for me. And even though other people have got their take on it, and they're always going to have their own take on it, uh, I know what's aligned for me, and it doesn't really matter. Like, you can tell people till you're blue in the face, which I wouldn't do, that actually it's just convenient for me. Contacts don't bother me. I feel like I notice glasses, so many different things. But other people, it's their stuff, and they'll be like, well, actually, but then I feel like you're lying to everybody. That'll be somebody else's take. So everyone can take the same thing and do it in a different way and come from a completely different place. So no matter what you're offering or what you're aligned with in the world is going to be yours. It's never going to be the same.
I love that connection, Kat. I love that. Love that. Because I mean, I experienced the whole I thing with you as well. So
Mm.
I love the connection you've made into business, and you feel that's helped you, for want of a better word, up level. Because I know we're having this discussion before as well. So, for want of a better word, do you feel that's helped you, I guess, break through, shed another layer, like move forward in your business?
Well, as you know, through some conversations we've had about this, I do feel that, and I had this, I think it was just yesterday, I had this realization where actually, and this probably comes into my challenges as well, I sometimes get too far caught in the masculine energy of doing and doing and having to do it and do it strategically, but it's not really, as you know, it's not my groove. It's not my groove. I like the space, as I have said before, and Marion Rose reminded me of this term, the prepared environment. And this is kind of how I work.
Yeah.
I have the structure to be in, but then I like to free flow around that. And sometimes I like to go outside the structure and come back in, so that's really because, right side being masculine and external, it's really reminded me in a way that there's been too much in this. There's a bit of well, I mean, the cornea is the
Yes.
protection. So it's like, hang on a minute, where are you? And are you taking care of yourself as our bodies do? So connecting more, and I was, out of alignment, as you know, with some of my parenting things, how I wanted to be with my kids. So bringing in more of the yin and the flow, and that is really a lot to do with aligning within for me. So am I making sense
Yeah,
there?
totally. I totally. What's that?
I just said, am I making sense there?
Yeah, totally, totally. And I mean, like, I can relate to it from like I'm naturally masculine driven, which I call feminine yang, but I can also go too far over into my yin. And so what I found is I went so far into yin that you just kind of go, oh, that's fine. Everything's just great. I'll just wake up when I want to wake up and blah, blah, blah. And so, you know, it's finding the blend of the zen and the hustle together, like pulling it
Mm-hmm.
together. So, and I love that, having a structure. I'm same as you. I love having the structure, but I need to flow however I want to flow
Mm-hmm.
inside. Like, you just can't restrict, you know?
No.
So I love that.
Yeah. And it
Um,
did end up
and
stopping
what you
me.
love.
Speaking
Yes,
of going
yes, you
too much,
start
it
to
actually
change.
did stop me, didn't it? It stopped everything.
Yeah, you feel changed in. All right, this one's one that I know you're gonna love because I love it. How do you operate your business during a dark night of the soul? How does your business keep
Ah,
flowing? How does the zen and the hustle keep flowing, masculine and feminine? How does the whole thing come together for you during a dark night of the soul?
oh, wow. How does it not come together? Isn't that where?
How does that, yeah, yeah, how do they keep turning, you know, as an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, as a, you know, as a businesswoman, how do you keep going? Like still make sales, still show up on social media, all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Talk me
Um,
through that in your world. I love this question. I have to say, you know how we
yeah.
talk about Dark Night of the Sun
I
all the
love it.
time.
I love it
And Rosie,
because it's like, what Dark Night of the Soul's where it's all happening. Um, that's how we come up with these. We come out through the other side, and I feel really connected to um, Hecate energy, the goddess, the Greek goddess, who is the torchbearer in the underworld. So, to me, it's like she's always with us in the dark night of the soul. I feel that you cannot ignore it. You can't just be like, oh, what do people say? They say something like, I'm just, but we'll get on with it. I'm feeling a bit sad, but we'll just get on with it. No, you'll be stopped flat and you'll be flat on your face. Like, so you need to you need to listen. Whether that's just writing a note or just acknowledging like, hey, I need more of something. Or, and I did stop.
mm,
To me, I feel like I did stop posting for, like, I really honored that I wanted to stop sharing. And saying that, I think I probably still shared, because I do, but only when I felt inspired. I didn't push myself to do something that I wasn't inspired to do because I had so much going on within me that needed to come through. And some of it was, inspired by what I had just been through or what I just experienced. I think, and there's this moment, I don't know if everybody has these, where someone says something and you just feel this whole response generating in your mind that could totally be a post, and you could totally share with other people and you go, oh, hang on. And so I actually do start writing it, like in Evernote or my journal or whatever. And then if I feel like sharing pieces of that, I will. But I think really honoring the not wanting to do it and the stopping, because within honoring that and doing what I need to do, and wake up every morning and write down my dreams or journal or whatever it is. I mean, I do that anyway, but if I need extra of that, really honoring that and not putting the pressure on myself to perform, in a certain way, because I will come back very, like, and it'll be very easy. Like, once you give yourself permission not to, it's much easier to come back. It's only a week or two, it's not like you're not back for months because you're resisting it and you're kind of pulling yourself forward and pulling back and all of that. So I think allowing and
yeah,
giving yourself permission, swamp, as Mama Gina says, swamp, get into that. Yeah.
I love that. Allowing, honoring, beautiful words. I love them. And when you really, and I know you do, Kat, when it's not just lip service, when it's really honoring and allowing, it's such a beautiful thing because that's where the magic happens. Both
Mm.
from taking the time out and not, like you said, brushing it off, like, I'll be all right, I'll keep going, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Um, just really embodying it. And the magic comes through that, whether it's bits that you want to share while you're going through it, or the unfolding that happens after, you know, where you start to be able to shine an even brighter light on everybody else, you know, your tribe,
Yeah.
your soulmates, your, you know, people that you want to help, you know, and support and guide and lead. I don't know if help's the right word, but just guide and lead and mentor. And yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And be like, hey, I've been here and
Um,
I know what it's like. And
so,
guess what? Here's where I found the torch. Let's go, you know. Your torch is going to be somewhere here.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and you're better able to guide, like you're better able to lead because you're leading from the trenches. You know, you're
Mm,
leading from, I'm here with you. I've been there. Like you're not sitting up on this
yeah.
pedestal and life's all perfect and you're portraying perfectionism. Like you're getting into the nitty gritty of it. And therefore, you're able to connect more deeper because, you know, as humans, like what do we connect to? We connect to emotion, pain, all that kind of stuff. Like sometimes pain brings you together, sometimes joy brings you together, but there's a depth there. It's not surface shit, which you know we both can't stand.
No.
So, and
Mm.
you're awesome in the way that you will bring the deep stuff out in a really simple, connective way, and that's beautiful. So, how do you start
Okay.
your day, and what does a typical work day look like for you? You know, you're a mum, you're juggling things around. What does that look like in Kat's world? And how do you
Wow,
start your day?
that's fun.
Because I know you, yeah,
Yeah. So Tuesdays, I do have, generally it's school holidays now. Tuesdays is like, I probably have from maybe 10 till 1 or 2, which is my time where I'm on my own and can work, right? So, um, so discounting that day, because you know that's, I mean, obviously I do what I do. I do school run, and then I come and usually do interviews or whatever. So it looks different on each day. I think for
what do
me,
you do when you wake up, though? Kat?
yeah, waking
Let's
up.
okay,
This
back a
morning
little
I
bit.
looked at my
What do you do
beautiful
when you first?
children.
Yeah, yes.
So yeah, and it also does depend on the day. I ideally, if my I'd like to get up a little bit, kids are sleeping, and sometimes, you know, if it's cold, I'm not going to get up and do yoga. But I will journal. At the moment, I get up, I wake up, and I write my dreams down immediately. Like that's what I do. And from there, I might journal. I sometimes read, but not so much at the moment. Something that, you know, on that list of things that nourish me, my writing down my dreams, journaling, um, could be meditating, but more often than not at the moment, it's in bed, you know, because it's still cold, writing. And I got a pencil because you don't, I kept saying, I need like a space pen or something so I can write while I'm lying down. And of course, Tony, hubby, said to me, you can just use a pencil. And I was like, oh, yes, I'm going to use a pencil. And I used to write in nothing but pencil, but at school, that got changed. So that was also an interesting awareness to be like, oh, I see now. I was actually really aligned with myself. Then I do all the mum stuff. I do all the mum stuff. And I generally, if I have a moment where I think, oh, yes, that's the daily doable magic I'm going to do today, um, which is a video that I do daily. I record it and I go, oh, okay, guys, it's gonna be 1 minute. I do it. I do that then. Or the daily invitation. I just kind of do them in moments of inspiration. And sometimes, like now,
And
pardon?
I love that. You're always showing up with awesome stuff because you use your everyday stuff literally. Like you'll go,
Yes.
oh, I just opened the window and this is what I'm feeling and I'm gonna share that. Like I'm your friend and I learned so much. I go, oh yes, great one, Kat. I love that one. So I love that. You kind of
Yeah.
you are really weaving it into your everyday
Mhm.
life.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
For
that.
me, it is about weaving. I've tried I've tried the set time this, set time that, and it doesn't always work. And of course, I have set times for um, client, mentoring.
Okay, we're back. No. Let me just try adding Cat back on. Hopefully Cat's still here. Let me just try messaging her. Okay, we're just waiting for Cat to get back on. I'm not sure what's happened. Connection failed. Okay. Okay, so I'm just waiting for.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay,
Yes. All right. So
I'd
we're
like
going
to
to wrap
me
it
the
up
screen was still
anyway.
there and you were frozen. So.
Oh, no, you went out. I don't know, service, reception, or whatever it is.
Something.
Okay, I don't even remember where we were. Oh, we're going to probably wrap this up soon. We've been on for about 40, nearly 50 minutes now. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Time always flies with you, Cat. All right. So, okay, last couple of questions. How does the word hustle feel to you?
Oh, well, it depends what mood I'm in, but really to me, it's like, it's just that day. I literally do the hustle comes into my head, and then the song starts going. So, um,
I love
I
that.
yeah,
What you basically what it represents. Yeah.
yeah. I
I
think
gotcha.
at one
Because
point there is that hustle, like, come on, let's hustle, but that it doesn't sit with me. It just so if someone said, come on, let's hustle, let's go dance, then that kind of makes more
yeah.
sense. Yeah.
And that's the thing. There's a lot of bad hustle gets a bad rap because it's like there is the hustle and grind and kill yourself, but then there's
Mm.
my way is hustle really just means taking action, and really if you get down to the heart of it, it's creating something out of nothing. That's what hustle is, and that's what we
It's
do
movement.
as
It's movement.
you know what we do as conscious creators. We create, we get the idea, and we go take action, let's do it, and the devotion to it is what allows us to just take the action. So yeah,
Yeah.
anyways. All
Yeah,
right,
I hear you.
so
It's movement. It's not pushing.
yeah, because it's got to start with the devotion. Like there's got to be that connection, that passion. All right, last question is, what are your top 3 spiritual practices?
Ooh. I want to say drinking tea. Isn't that funny?
Yes.
Drinking tea.
Yeah,
Drinking
it
tea.
is.
It
I
really
love
is. And
that.
I've got the earth connection to the leaves there, and it's about presence. Um,
I love that.
I think, yeah, definitely. I'm meditating. I know it's not everyone's thing. I mean, for me, I would love to meditate, sit and meditate for an hour, right? But it's not realistic in the life that I live right now. So 10 minutes, 5 minutes
Yeah,
of conscious breathing is meditating. And feeling
totally.
into into that space within you, not this, not the mind, maybe the third eye if you want, but um, yes, and it's what's behind all of that. And I think movement as well. So whether it's yoga or, hip swirling or dancing, movement, because your energy needs to move in your body, in your embodiment. And I just want to say magic because magic is a spiritual practice as well, but but that's not, well, that's kind of magic
Yeah,
with the T, isn't it? But yeah, movement as well. I think
creates the, doesn't it?
pardon?
Creates the magic. Like it's all the stuff that
Yes,
creates it all.
yes,
All
yes,
the
exactly.
movement, the presence, and the stillness, and all the bits that go into it.
Mm. Yeah,
Mm,
and that's why I love
love that.
like Zen hustle as well, because like if you just Zen, right? We have this whole concept of Zened out where I'll be here like this, with my hands like, okay, everybody, or I'll be, all right, now let's just,
Yeah,
whatever. And that's totally be in that Zen space, but you have to live a life as well. So you've got to actually have the movement. And the movement is what gets this peaceful energy or this radiant energy or this inspired energy, whatever it is, the life force energy, gets it moving through your body and then it expands into your world and your life. Like we forget movement is a spiritual practice. Anyway, passion.
totally. I totally hear what you're saying. Totally resonates for me.
Mm.
Um, I think that we're just gonna. I think we've done our first Zen Hustle Women's interview. Woo! Thank you, Kerle.
Yay! Thank
Well,
you.
I'd love you to share what you have on offer right now. And I know you've got your workshop coming up. If you want to share that or whatever
Oh
you want
my
to share,
gosh.
well,
Yes.
yours.
Oh my gosh. Yes, so I do have a workshop coming up, and I think it will.
Oh, we're back to me again. Um, okay, let me try adding cat again. Ah, there we go.
Hi, again, third time
Okay,
lucky.
let's try this again, shall we? Yeah.
So, okay, well, maybe because it's funny, because I was like, yes, I do have the workshop, but maybe I need to talk about something else. So, first, um, so I have a lot of different pieces. I have the My Pleasure membership, where it's a group, supported group, where everyone can, essentially live a pleasurable life, a magical and pleasurable life, and it's pleasure infusions. So you can infuse, whatever the particular piece is into your everyday life. Not, I'm big on not adding extra time and extra to-dos. It's about doing it within. Same with the magic. I've got, as you know, the pleasure packages because Monique so amazingly supported me in actually structuring the packages so they made sense and were actually an offering, because I was like, hey, people want me to do some mentoring and I'm feeling that. What do I do? How do we figure this out? And that I'm so grateful. Like that was it's so valuable. So if you want to work one-on-one with me with anything from, pleasure to magic, intuition, anything, that's all there. And the workshop that's coming up, and I still don't know if I'm going to call what I'm going to call it. So, but it's about orgasms and I don't know, what did I say? Orgasm menu or orgasm opportunity? I don't know, but there are 10 different types or ways, different types of orgasm. So you've got lots of choice, and we don't realize this, or we think, or someone thinks, hey, I'm a weirdo because I love this, or someone thinks,
Yep.
well, it doesn't happen for me this one way, so there must be something wrong with me. Well, I'm always big on there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. exactly as you are. And we just
Yeah.
often don't know, and we don't have the information to empower ourselves. So that's coming up. That will be, yeah, definitely in the next couple of weeks, an online workshop, and I'll have a tea. You can have tea with me at the end, virtually on Zoom. It'll be with a Q&A.
Heidi,
The Q&A won't be recorded. Yeah, the tea circle won't be recorded, so that's just a private Q&A with people. But there will be a recording of the actual workshop available. Yeah, and
I love,
there's some other pieces coming after that, but we'll just wait and see.
I love.
And there's always the partner
Where
play
can
online cards as well. So
yeah, so many exciting little goodies you
yeah.
got. Little goodies that make massive impact, which is awesome.
Yes, thank you.
Which is awesome.
That's exactly my
My
aim.
take, yeah, my take on your workshop was orgasm intensive. So that was like
Oh,
my
I like that. Oh, yum.
double play. I think I messaged that to you, orgasm intensive, which is,
Yes, you
a
did
double play on
actually. You
the being
did.
intensive orgasm. And also,
Yeah.
it's really intensive about this particular topic. And that's it. That's
Yes.
what we focused on.
Yes, come and
So
play. Yeah,
I'm
yeah. I'm ready. That's it.
yeah.
I have to reread those
Yeah.
words because I'm like, yeah, that lights the fire. That's the sparkle. There it is. That's why you work with Monique,
Yeah.
everybody. That's why you go to Zen Hustle. Just saying. Just saying.
Beautiful. And where can we find you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tap your page because I've got to go back and edit this because I couldn't do it on my phone. But where
Yeah.
can they find you on
You can find me on
your web?
Instagram or Facebook, or readingsforclarity.com is the website. Instagram, the handle is Readings for Clarity. And same with, actually, it's Cat Curl Everyday Magic on Facebook. But if you go to facebook.com/, Readings for Clarity, it's there. But either way, I'm sure you'll find it. Something will be linked to this. So yeah. And of course, you can always get in touch through any of those if you have any more questions. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. The feeling's mutual. I'm just like, oh, yes. Yeah. 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 And keeping it real. You know, I'm big on keeping it real.